From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday encouraged media practitioners in the country to fulfill their duties without restrictions. According to the President, critical press is important in the country, and unlike those that preceded him, he does not seek collaboration as it will indicate the surrender of the media's independence. During the 50th anniversary of the Foreign Correspondents Association of the Philippines, or FOCAP, the chief executive said members of the media should not be deterred in the pursuit of truth. In relation to this, President Marcos again promised to protect press freedom as well as ensure the safety of journalists in the Philippines. Let's listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
This luncheon is I would say, very profound moment for me on a personal and on an official level. Your first guest to this luncheon was my father, 50 years ago. 5 decades later, I stand here and I address you as President to celebrate the golden anniversary and carry on the legacy of this important media tradition. As President, I will seek this forum not only to explain our policies, but to renew my vow to what I deeply believe in, that the President's role is to defend press freedom and not lead in destroying it or demeaning its practitioners. It is my duty for which I ask no special favor, but only fairness, which every citizen, be he the leader of the land or a tiller of the soil, deserves from the Fourth Estate. Unlike many of my predecessors, I do not seek collaboration, for that implies a surrender of your independence. I am of the opinion that national interest is better served by a press that is critical, rather than a press that is cooperative. It must have the untrammeled freedom to do its work, not just to arm the citizenry with the truth, but also to deepen discernment in this age of mass disinformation. In fact, this has been the hallmark of FOCAP's relationship with the presidency and the government for this last half-century. Not compromising your principles has allowed you to live up to the public trust in a manner that is fair but nuanced, balanced but critical. The principal role of the press is not to applaud those who govern, but you hold us accountable without holding back and giving praise to those who deserve it and providing criticism for those who deserve that. Along with the stance is our collective goal of protecting the welfare and lives of journalists. This administration remains committed to bringing justice to the members of the press who were slain in the line of their noble duty. Rest assured that this government, through the Presidential Task Force on Media Security, is always on top of ensuring a safe environment for media practitioners in the country. It is in this spirit that I come here today, to render a candid report and exchange ideas on matters that affect the country. I stated at the start of my administration that we would not yield 1 inch of territory to any foreign power. In recent years, the Philippines has been at the receiving end of illegal, aggressive, and irresponsible actions in the West Philippine Sea. It is crucial that the media, including the members of FOCA, to continue to expose these actions that not only threaten the peace and stability of the region, but also undermine the rules-based order that has underpinned global development and prosperity over the previous century. We must do everything to defend our sovereignty, exercise our sovereign rights and jurisdiction, and uphold our national interests. We also continue to seek and strengthen mutual partnerships with like-minded neighbors, friends, and allies to promote peace and ensure stability in the region. Having said that, the rule of law and global consensus are our greatest tools in securing our maritime territory. So while our nation faces its own trials, we remain deeply concerned about the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. And despite the geographical distance, our country is not spared from the impacts and shocks that the conflict provides as we continue to experience food and energy insecurity, along with the challenges in the global supply chain and continuing rising inflation. We continue to hope for a comprehensive, just, and lasting peace in the region for the safety and security of affected families, some of whom are Filipino. Allow me also to reiterate that the International Criminal Court has no jurisdiction over the Philippines, as we remain to have a working judicial system and law enforcement mechanisms. This administration's concept of the anti-illegal drugs campaign has also been transformed, as we are focusing more on prevention and rehabilitation. Under the banner of Bagong Pilipinas, we are steadfast in adhering to our shared mission of advancing the welfare of Filipinos and nurturing a truly free and safe environment for all journalists.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday, and the Department of Tourism on Monday awarded the top 15 local government units, or LGUs, that won in the Tourism Champions Challenge, or TCC. The TCC is the DOT's response to the President's vision for the Philippines to become a tourism powerhouse in Asia. Citing the National Tourism Development Plan of 2023 to 2028, Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco said the DOT is committed to the equalization of tourism product development and promotion. In his speech during the event, the chief executive said the national government will bring more infrastructure, implement tourism-friendly policies, and arouse interest from global audiences. Let's listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Let me greet you in the same cheerful manner we Filipinos have been welcoming our guests to make them feel at home right away. Mabuhay. It has been said that a successful tourism program must possess 5 essentials. As ACE or ACES, accommodation, accessibility, activities, amenities, and attraction. Today, we can add another A to that, awards. Because if we want our tourism industry to attract more MIC or yung MICE, tinatawag, or meetings, incentives, conventions, exhibitions, we must first entice them with a different set of MICE. And we have redefined it for the purposes of explaining that. Ngayon, MICE are merits, inducements, commendations, and entitlements. This challenge to elicit creativity will magnify the magnetism of Philippine tourism is a step in that direction. So I would like to congratulate the Department of Tourism for striking a rich vein of talent and tapping various stakeholders for innovative ideas that will energize and enhance tourism development in our country. For indeed, the best way to draw crowds is to crowdsourcing ideas and how to bring them in. The response to this Tourism Champions Challenge, I have been told, has been nothing less than overwhelming. Taken together, the submissions form one impressive catalog of creativity and innovation. It is also heartwarming to note that these are not mere proposals anymore, but they are existing projects of proven value and that have already shown unqualified success. This is the way tourism should be developed in our view. Like economic growth, not relying on trickle down, but built from the ground up. You and I are all aware that we are in the midst of a great travel resurgence, which must be met with our own tourism renaissance. That is why we have been modernizing our airports from Clark to Cebu. Soon we will bravely unravel the newly improved Manila International Airport, Laguindingan Airport, the Bohol Airport are all in the pipeline now. We have also been upgrading our seaports, paving more roads to tourism spots. We are investing in the upskilling of our human resource that is the linchpin of any hospitality business. And when our friendliness is matched with our fabulous sights, it is the perfect combination. It is hard to beat. We are world class. We have sun. We have sun, we have sea, we have surf and shopping, add na rin, sama na rin natin, masarap na pagkain, mga piyesta, at saka pag-enjoy. By themselves, these are wonders already to behold. And in their natural unfiltered state, they are already picturesque. That doesn't require Photoshop para pagandahin pa. In fact, travelers' reviews are one in raving that our islands are so enchanting that no prose nor photo can adequately capture the true beauty of the Filipino countryside. Nevertheless, this should not make us complacent. We must work harder to make our country stand out amidst a very competitive market. We have to build better, more tourism facilities and infrastructure, step up our marketing drive, and rev up training. We have to open up more tourism areas so we can have a diversified and a dynamic portfolio that can drive up interest before a wider clientele. In 2023, we welcomed 5.5 million inbound tourists, 100% jump from the previous year. This year, the DOT has targeted 7.7 million inbound tourists, backed by the arrivals surpassing 1.2 million in the first 2 months of 2024. The DOT has expressed optimism in sustaining the gains that we have made. But we would all be very happy if we can breach this target again, like we did last year. Make no mistake about it, the world is ready to love the Philippines. And when I say that, for all of us here who live in the Philippines, have been traveling around the Philippines, we know how beautiful the Philippines is. We know that it does not matter where our visitors come from. We can show off with great pride the Philippines. But I must tell you, for somebody who talks to many other nationalities from around the world, what really brings the travelers here, that really brings the tourists here, are certainly the beautiful sights, certainly the fun activities, certainly the great facilities. But the most important part of it is the Filipino, the heart of the Filipino, that we show the love of the Filipino, that we show even strangers who we have never met before and will no longer meet after they have come here. But, ganyan talaga ang ugali ng Pilipino. Ganyan talaga ang ugali natin dito sa Pilipinas. At yan ang pinakamalaking sa aking pagpalagay. Yan ang pinakalaging hinahanap ng mga turista na pumupunta dito sa Pilipinas. How many times have you heard it? Come to the Philippines, it's a beautiful country. But come for the people. So let us highlight not only the beauty of the Philippines, not only the physical wonderment that they will find when they come here, but that warmth, that affection, the love that Filipinos always bring to their relationship. We show the world that we have long been ready to love them back. Today, our LGU tourism champions have proven equal to that challenge. With these merits in mind, the Tourism Infrastructure and Enterprise Zone Authorities approved the grant of an additional 5 million pesos for each winner to the funding support that we have garnered under the Tourism Champions Challenge. We are doing this because it is a very, very good policy to invest in success. So make the most of it. Make the Philippines proud. Make the Filipinos proud. Each winner deserves this additional reward towards building infinite capabilities to make everything better. It is also reaffirmation of my belief that local governments are our indispensable and active partners in national development. Be assured that we will match your industry, equal your dedication, and complement your work. The national government will build more infrastructure, implement tourism-friendly policies, and arouse interest from global audiences. As we move forward with optimism in our heart, let us commend Secretary Cristina Frasco, the Department of Tourism, and the TIESA for doing exemplary work on these games. They have fostered a conducive environment for creative and innovative tourism through this initiative, which meets one overriding objective. Sa bagong Pilipinas, mas maraming bisita ang darating at pasasayahin.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday clarified that the trilateral agreement signed between the Philippines, the United States, and Japan was not directed at anyone, but merely a strengthening of relations between the three countries. In an interview with the President during the 50th anniversary of the Foreign Correspondents Association of the Philippines, or FOCAP, President Marcos said, "The point of the trilateral meeting is to provide an area of peace and stability in the region so that all can find a way in this new global economy."
First of all, the trilateral agreement, as I was explaining when I was in Washington, D.C., was that it is not a response to the immediate occurrences, incidents that are happening to us, with us, around us, but really a continuing development and evolution of the relationship that we have always had with the United States and with Japan. And in truth, it formalizes what the US and Japan and the Philippines have already been doing together. Now, of course, security and defense are a great part of that trilateral agreement. But an even greater part of the trilateral agreement are the economic cooperations that are being fostered by the trilateral agreement. We went during the summit with Prime Minister Kishida and President Joe Biden. We went into quite a bit of detail as to what those areas are: semiconductors, renewables, the transfer of technology, green minerals. All of these things were spoken about. And that plays an essential part of that trilateral agreement. So it is not directed at anyone or against anyone. It is merely a strengthening or a formalization and institutionalizing, I suppose, the relationship of the United States, Japan, and the Philippines. Now, the security and defense part of that trilateral agreement, of course, speaks of interoperability, speaks of joint exercises, which seem to be perfectly, which we have been doing, again, we have already been doing before, but we have now put it down on paper in a formal document as to what we plan and how that partnership will continue to evolve as time goes on. So when it comes to the security and defense aspect, of the South China Sea, of the West Philippine Sea, really, what the aim of the trilateral agreement, but it's not only the United States, Japan, and the Philippines. It's very many other countries all around the region, and even as far as EU, as far as North America, is really to maintain the freedom of navigation along the South China Sea, simply because it is a recognition that the world right now is still having to recover from the pandemic economy, from the shocks that came from the Ukraine, the war in Ukraine, and then now the Middle East. We just had a big escalation with Iran attacking Israel. So these are the elements that we are having to deal with. These are the shocks that are completely beyond our control. So we have to maintain commerce, we have to maintain the peace, we have to maintain stability. And that's what really the point of the trilateral agreement is so that we provide for ourselves in the region, in the Indo-Pacific region, an area of peace and stability so that we can all find our way in this new global economy, post-pandemic economy. And I think that's really the point of that trilateral agreement.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday said the Mutual Defense Treaty, or MDT, between the Philippines and the United States will be invoked if a Filipino serviceman is killed in the West Philippine Sea, or WPS. In an interview with the President Marcos explained this when asked when the MDT will be invoked amid recent aggressions by China against Filipinos in the WPS. President Marcos added that regardless of their designation, if they are killed, then that is an attack to the Philippines.
I think Secretary Austin explained it very well. If any serviceman, Filipino serviceman, is killed by an attack from any foreign power, then that is time to invoke the Mutual Defense Treaty. I actually, when I spoke to him in Washington, I thanked him for making it very, very clear to everyone, and he did precisely that. He was asked the same question that we are all asked: when do you invoke the Mutual Defense Treaty? When does it kick into action? And he said that's if a Filipino serviceman is killed because of an attack or an aggressive action by another foreign power. Well, as long as they have actually caused casualties and it has killed the serviceman, then that whatever their designations are, whether they're merchant marine or Coast Guard or actual gray vessels or Navy vessels, it does not matter. That is an attack on the Philippines by a foreign power.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday said the Philippine government has no plans to establish more Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, bases in the country. Signed in 2014, EDCA authorizes the United States military to use designated installations of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, to build facilities and position their equipment, aircraft, and vessels. In an interview with the President during the 50th anniversary of the Foreign Correspondents Association of the Philippines, or FOCAP, the President added that EDCA has nothing to do with the aggressive actions of China in the South China Sea.
The answer to that is no. The Philippines has no plan to create any more bases or give access to any more bases. So, yes. So, I think that's turning the situation on its head. These are reactions to what has happened in the South China Sea. to the aggressive actions that we have had to deal with, the water cannoning, the lasers, the collision, the blocking of our bangka, our fishermen, the putting of barriers across Scarborough Shoal. This is a reaction to that. This did not cause that. That happened before we had EDCA. No, definitely. No. The Philippines has no plans to open or to establish more EDCA bases.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday said his administration is monitoring the political cycle in the United States, especially now that the elections in the U.S. is nearing. This was a statement of the president when asked if he is worried that the military exercises between the two countries would change if Donald Trump wins the U.S. elections. In an interview with the chief executive, President Marcos said that this cannot be avoided if there would be changes in the government. There will also be changes in policies. Even so, the Philippine president is positive that previous agreements between the U.S. and the Philippines are agreements outside of politics.
Well, I think it would be artful to say that we do not watch closely the political cycle that is ongoing in the United States. Because inevitably, if there is a change in government, if President Biden is reelected, then we have a fairly solid ground to base all our positions on, because we have already spoken with him. But inevitably, if there is a change in government, then there will be changes in policy. We do not know what those are. But I believe that what we have agreed with the United States are beyond politics. And I think that since they almost rise to treaty agreements, those treaty agreements must be honored. And that, I think, puts us on good ground. But I will not deny that we look. Certainly, we examine who's going to be in charge. In case the former President Trump is reelected, what will be the changes that will affect us? It's hard to say. It's all speculation for now.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday said the Philippines will not agree if China will prevail or its laws if there will be a joint exploration in the West Philippine Sea or WPS. This is the statement of President Marcos when asked in relation to the oil and gas talks in the WPS between Beijing and Manila. In an interview, the president said, if the Philippines states the interest in exploring resources in a certain area, China says that it is their territory, so the Philippines should follow Chinese laws. In other words, there is no agreement forged between the two countries in this issue, for what needs to be known first is which law should be followed if there would be a joint exploration in the area.
Well, we always come up against the same argument, or between China and the Philippines, because when we say that we would like to explore, they insist that these areas are in Chinese territory, and therefore Chinese law must prevail. We, of course, do not accept that. We say this is Philippine territory, and therefore Philippine law should prevail. That's really where the sticking point is. Even before I came into office, that was already the situation we're in. I hear a great many optimistic reports that they're saying that we have agreed, we've come to an agreement, but I haven't really seen something that we can work, that we can use to work forward. In other words, I don't really think we have a proper agreement, and it really comes down to that issue: which law will apply? And the reason that there is an argument is that China claims that these territories belong to China. We dispute that, and that's where the problem is.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and Department of the Interior and Local Government or DILG Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. on Tuesday inspected the estimated 13.3 billion pesos worth of illegal drugs seized from a recent drug bust at Pinagcrusan town in the municipality of Alitagtag, Batangas Province. According to DILG Secretary Abalos, this stands as the biggest drug haul on a single operation in the history of the country's anti-illegal drugs campaign. Following the interception, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or PDEA, confirmed that the estimated 2 tons of confiscated illegal drugs tested positive for methamphetamine hydrochloride. The operation, led by Police Captain Luis De Luna, confiscated the said illegal drugs from a van after it was flagged down on an intelligence-driven checkpoint operation on Monday, April 15th. Let's listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Andito tayong lahat dahil merong para makita at mapakinggan at makakuha ng report tungkol sa itong nangyari na pagkahuli nitong kalaki-laki na shabu na shipment. Ang estimate baka umabot ito ng 1.8 tons. So ang ibig sabihin, ito na yung pinakamalaking huli na nagawa natin. But that hindi lang ito. Meron na tayo as of today, ang huli natin is already 13 point something, 13.2, 13.3 tons. So patuloy talaga, marami talaga tayong nahuhuli. At this is the approach that we are taking to the drug war. Ang ating ginagawa, we take apart, binabaklas natin yung mga sindikato, kahit sino man. Ang nakita natin may kasabwat dito sa drug trade. Kahit sino man, kahit politiko ba na powerful politician o police o kung sino man, talagang iniimbestigahan natin. Kaya nagkaroon ng ganitong klaseng mga operation that nakahuli tayo ng kalaki-laki na 1.8 tons. Sa ngayon, just to give you a status report, as you can see, ang ginagawa ngayon, iniimbentaryo talaga kung gaano kadami itong nahuli na meth. Nakapag-test na ang PNP, tinest na yung nahuling shabu, very high quality itong nandito, very high potency. Ibig sabihin, yung mga pinanggalingan, kung saan pa yung mga, kung saan nanggaling, kung saan sinakay, anong origin, ngayon ay iniimbestigahan pa lang. Kaya the operation is ongoing at pabayaan muna natin ang ating mga kapulisan together with the attached agencies ng PDEA and the Dangerous Drugs Board, lahat we're working together para mabuo ang kaso rito, malaman talaga natin kung saan dinaan itong shipment ng shabu na ito. I would like also to point out that this is the biggest shipment of shabu na nahuli natin. But not one person died. Walang namatay, walang nagputukan, walang nasaktan. Basta't inoperate natin ng dahan-dahan, yun naman dapat ang approach. Para sa akin, yun dapat ang approach sa drug war. Na ang pinaka-importante is matigil natin ang pag-ship ng mga drugs dito sa pagpasok sa Pilipinas. Pero the one thing that's clear, pinasok ito, hindi ito galing dito sa Pilipinas. Hindi ito linuto dito sa Pilipinas, galing ito sa labas. Ngayon, yung ruta kung saan nanggaling yun, ngayon pinag-aaralan pa natin at inimbestigahan pa.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, we would like to invite everyone to come and visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.